Hello. Hi, everyone. I'll give it a couple minutes for everyone to come in. But yeah, today we're here for the live show discussion of Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. We'll start chatting about this in a little bit. I have some notes. So I wrote them in this little notebook that Cami got me for my birthday. So if I look down, that's probably what I'm looking at. But yeah, also Cami cannot be here today because she's not feeling very well tonight, so she doesn't really feel like being on camera. But yes, so I'll give it a second for people to come in and everything. Alicia is here an hour early. Thank you for coming. But yeah, I'm gonna post about this on the Instagram and everything so everyone knows that we're live. These awkward silences are always great. We're live. Sorry. For the Velvet Was the Night live discussion. All right, so we'll start in a couple of seconds. Sorry for the awkward silence. I suck. How's everyone doing? Also let me know what your star rating was. I'll share mine in a couple seconds. But let me know what you rated Velvet Was the Night because we're interested in knowing. So yeah, let us know what you rated it as I'm posting this on the Brujas and Books Instagram. Beep beep. Oh, I didn't save the picture. Great. We gotta take another picture. Okay, we're live. I get so anxious. We're live for Velvet Was the Night discussion on my channel. On Naomi's library channel. Okay, sorry. I always feel like I should do this before we start, but then again, I don't know. Okay. All right, let's do this. There's a couple comments. Alicia, thank you for coming. Feel better, Cami. Yes, she should be joining the chat sometime soon to chat with everyone about her feelings about Velvet Was the Night. Hello, Drew. Thank you for coming. Hi, thank you for coming. I own this book but have not read it yet. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about like our feelings a little bit about the book, and then we'll go into spoilers. So I'll make sure to let you know when the spoilers start so you don't get spoiled. Hello, Joan. Thank you for coming. Hello, Jalen. Thank you for coming. I am here. I'm also not feeling well this week, so I hope Cammie's doing better. Yes, we hope that she feels better soon. She should be in the chat sometime soon. I haven't read this one yet. Meant to get to it soon. Oh my god, I can't read. I'm sorry, Drew. It's a really good one. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about it in just a second. I actually didn't get to finish it because I was sick. I actually don't think Cammy finished it either, to be completely honest with you. But I'm not too sure. She should join soon, so maybe she'll let you guys know whether or not she finished it. But yeah. I'm so bad at time. I only made it halfway as of now. That's totally fine. I'm still glad that you guys joined, even though you didn't finish it. But yeah, I'll make sure that I talk about things that are not very spoilery till the end. But yeah. Hello, I read it last month and really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Hello, I still have no star rating. Ooh, is that because you haven't finished it, Stephanie? Or is there another reason as to why you don't have a star rating? Well, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked it. It is one of my favorites. I don't know. I really liked it. I did give it a 4 out of 5, but I feel like maybe as time goes on, my rating might go higher because I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so if you all didn't know, this book, I'm sorry that I'm reading off my like my notes, but I feel like I have to because I don't know. I feel like I might say something that doesn't make any sense. But basically, this book follows a 30-year-old woman, and her name is Maite. Um, sorry. Her name is Maite, and she's a secretary, and she's like super unhappy. And then one day, like her neighbor, Leonora, she asks her to watch her cat, and then she never returns. And then there's also another point of view, and his name is Elvis, and he's not a gangster, but he just gives me those vibes. So I was like referring to him as that. But anyway, he is also looking for Leonora, the missing girl, and he works for the government for a group called the Hawks. And then somehow, some way, their paths they intertwine. So I really liked it. So like I said, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I just saw that Jan joined the chat and she didn't really like it. I think she gave it like 2 out of 5. I really liked it. As far as I know from what Cami read, she was really enjoying it too. And I do know that Sav from Riverine Reads, she also has a book club, and she also had Velvet Was the Night. I should probably put this up somewhere, huh? She also had Velvet Was the Night as her book club pick for a specific month, and she really enjoyed it. So yes, so I don't know. Oh, here we go. Stephanie said, I was really conflicted between 3 and 4. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Just a heart. Okay. I don't know. I love the atmosphere. I did too. I think that was one of my favorite parts of the book. I feel like, in a way, reading it, I felt like I was in a room like full of cigarette like smoke like the whole time, if that makes any sense. I felt like it was very mysterious. I feel like there was a lot of tension throughout the whole book, which is, I feel like it's a hard feeling to convey. But it is a noir book, and I feel like that's kind of the point of noir. So I think one of my favorite parts of the book was the atmosphere of the book. Hello, Jayla. Thank you for coming. Notes are awesome. Thank you. I have a couple notes here, so we can have a little bit of a in-depth discussion about the book. Hey, y'all, I'm late. Don't even worry. You're all good. We just started talking. Janela, hello. This is Janela who didn't like it. The first sentence of this book was awesome. Yeah, I feel like this book just really like hits the ground running, like with I guess like the actiony part. And I think Silvia Moreno-Garcia, I heard her say somewhere, I think it might have been like on the back of the book, she says that the first scene is like an actual thing that happened in Mexico City like many years ago in the 1970s. So it is like from based on true events, I guess. It definitely wasn't her best for me, but a solid 3.5, I think. I love the vibes and the setting, and the audiobook was really good. Yeah, I think for me my favorite part was like the vibes and the atmosphere. I did give it a 4, and out of her books, this is only my second book by her. And I do see also Jan mentioning this, that for her, Mexican Gothic was so much better. For me, it's actually the opposite. I've only read Mexican Gothic and Velvet Was the Night. And I think Mexican Gothic was like a 3 out of 5. Yeah, so Velvet Was the Night I obviously enjoyed a lot more than Mexican Gothic. I don't know why Mexican Gothic just was not it for me, but this one I really loved. I don't know if it's the time of the year that I just really enjoy like historical fiction a little bit more, and this was like historical fiction. So did anyone listen to the Spotify playlist with it? I'm planning on doing that later. I did not. In my copy, I'm assuming that everyone's copy is like that. The playlist was all the way in the back of the book, so once I was done with it, I saw it. But I do want to listen to it at some point. It's just like a lot of like 70s rock and roll, which I thought was really cool. Jayla agrees that Mexican Gothic was better than Velvet Was the Night. I disagree. I think this one's so much better than Mexican Gothic, in my opinion. Who is this person? Am I gonna have to ban someone from the live? At this point, I don't even remember why I hated it. It was such a forgettable story. Oh my god, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I feel like that happens to me a lot with like a lot of different books. And I really thought that I wasn't going to like this at all. And I don't know if it's because I went into it like with really, really low expectations, but I really love this story. And I don't think it's forgettable at all. Like, I do understand where you're coming from, and I have had that feeling with like a lot of books in my lifetime, but this one just wasn't one of them. I don't know why. I don't know. I really liked it. I don't know why it reminded me of like The Lost Apothecary, which makes zero sense because they're nothing alike. But yeah, I feel like this live discussion is so like all over the place. I love how her stories are so wide ranging. I think she writes really well no matter what she's writing, but the stories aren't always to their full potential. I definitely feel that. I do think like for Mexican Gothic, I completely agree with this statement, Jayla. But for Velvet Was the Night, I feel like I have some notes in here. Like, I was like going to talk a little bit about how long the book was, and I think for the length, it was perfect. The ending was not as like satisfying as I wanted it to be because I sometimes I love open ending stories like that. But for this time around, it just was like I did like it, but I would also like to know. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yes, it is based on true events, and that was one of my favorite things about it. Yeah, so like I knew that it was kind of like based on true events, like the first scene and everything, and like specific things in the book. Um, and I just loved like learning about this history because I know nothing. Like I am Latinx, but I am Puerto Rican and I know a lot about Puerto Rican history. But for Mexico, and like I remember reading The Fountains of Silence by Ruda Sepetys, and I learned a lot about like Spain. And our next book club pick, we're gonna learn a lot about Cuba. And I'm just having a really good time learning about all of these different like Latinx countries and eras because even like learning about Mexico, it's one thing, but learning about Mexico in the 1970s is like a whole different thing as well. So here she is in all her beauty. Um 3 out of 5. Mexican Gothic, yeah, I did give it a 3 out of 5. I do know that Chanel from Chanel Time loved Mexican Gothic. That's like her brand. Also, riveting read Sav. She loves Mexican Gothic. There's a playlist. There is a playlist. Let me see if I can find it real quick on here. And I actually screenshotted. Here it is. So it says listen on Spotify at randomhousebooks.com. Velvet Was the Night playlist. Here's the playlist. I don't even think you can see that because of my freaking ring light. But there's Elvis Presley, Frankie Valli, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, obviously, Nancy Sinatra, Los Belmonts. It's a really cool like 70s cute playlist. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be listening to this sometime later. But I did have a point about the playlist. I took some screenshots of some tweets that Silvia Moreno-Garcia. Did I take screenshots? No, I did. I took them with my phone camera. Silvia Moreno-Garcia talked about the playlist. Where are the freaking tweets? There they are. So Silvia Moreno-Garcia said about the playlist that she made the playlist with music from the era. In the 1960s, Mexican bands only did covers of English language songs, but that began to change at the end of the decade. However, government repression plus censorship would soon deal a massive blow to the nascent Mexican rock scene at the same time that the government was controlling music. It was engaged in violent action against students, so welcome to summer 1971, Mexico City. So that was what Silvia Moreno-Garcia had to say about like the music. And the music actually plays a really big part in the book because our main character Maite, it's a huge record like connoisseur. Like she like collects records. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to know everyone's ratings, and I wanted to talk about Mexican Gothic versus Velvet Was the Night, which we kind of talked about a little bit. I prefer Velvet Was the Night. If you haven't told me which one you preferred, please let me know in the chat. But yeah, let's talk about our main character. So Maite, there is two point of views. So there's Maite and then there's Elvis. I would also like to know which point of view y'all like better. I personally loved Maite's point of view a lot better. I think Elvis's, like, at the beginning I wasn't really enjoying it. I did enjoy it a little bit more towards the end because their paths were kind of connecting. And I feel like maybe for people that haven't completely read the book, maybe this is a good time to head out. I don't know. Um oh, the chat is popping, but okay. Yes, so Maite, I enjoyed Maite's character a lot more than Elvis. I did think she was like an odd main character, but both of them were like they were really morally gray characters, I would say. I did like love to hate both of them. Especially Maite because she did a lot of weird things, like her brain is just so weird, like stealing from people's homes and like waiting to follow like that good looking man like Emilio, and just her brain like making up like fake boyfriends to talk about to like her friends. I just thought those were like such like childish things to do, like such like elementary, like she acted like a schoolgirl, but she was like 30 years old, and I guess she was like super unhappy with her life, and she was trying to like create this narrative. And she was also like a really huge fan of like comic books, and she wanted those type of like adventures and stories in her life. Which is why she found like the whole thing about like the Leonora going missing and the gangs and all of that like interesting. She thought it was adding like a little bit of spice to her life. But I was like, "Girl, relax." Like, I don't know. She was like so weird. But it was like cool to go in her brain and like read from the point of view of someone who enjoys stealing and like wanted to follow someone home. Like, literally as I was reading it, I was like, damn, maybe I would like reading You by Caroline Kepnes, because obviously that point of view is very disturbing, and I was like, maybe I would like a book like that. But I did really enjoy my day like point of view because I thought it was so different from the things that I usually read. But yeah, I loved how she like made up fake boyfriends to talk about to her coworkers, and they were all based on like fictional characters or like people that she kind of knew, and made like fake scenarios with those people from comic books that she was reading. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. But yeah, she just acted like a really, really young girl, and she was 30 years old, 30-year-old woman. So, yes. Um, I'm gonna stop for a second and read some of these comments, but Spotify is kind of like iPhone apps. Whatever you're looking for, there's a playlist for it, it seems. Yes. I know this one was especially curated by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, who wrote the book, obviously. Jayla, yes, that's what I love about Silvia Moreno-Garcia. She's so versatile. I know, because Mexican Gothic, it's like a horror story or like thriller mystery story set in Mexico City. She wrote a noir. I have another book by her that it's vampires, and then I have the other one which is Gods of Jade and Shadow, and I believe that's like Greek mythology or like Egyptian, I don't know, which is such like a wide range because usually authors stick to like one genre. And I guess, I don't know. I guess she does a little bit more like mystery type of books, but she does have a really wide range, I would say. Stephanie said, I think my rating wavers because I wasn't super invested in both of the characters, which is funny because I only like the main characters in Mexican Gothic. You know what? For me, I think this is completely opposite. I feel like in Mexican Gothic, I was not invested in the main characters at all. But for Velvet Was a Night, I loved them. Like, I loved the characters, and I think that's why I enjoyed the story so much more. Because I feel like for me, it depends. I'm very character driven, but also plot driven. It just has to be a really good mix for me to really enjoy a book. So I feel like for this, the reason why it wasn't 5 stars, it was because of the plot, because I loved the characters. And in Mexican Gothic, I did not like the characters at all. I wasn't very invested. But for this one, I really was. Uh so I'm not sure why I liked it more. It equals Mexican Gothic. Good vibes. Oh my god. Who I love how this person's like not contributing to the discussion at all. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I finished Velvet and do not annotate, so I don't remember everything, but I do think the ending was a bit not necessarily rushed, but I don't know, maybe not complete. Yes. So I do agree that one of the things that I also did not love about this book was the plot sometimes was like it dragged a little bit, and it was mostly in the Elvis point of view that I just didn't really care about like what they were doing, because they were just kind of beating people up, and I just don't really like to read about that. But I do agree that at the end, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't read the book, I don't like that they don't see like what's in the film. That kind of felt like not complete, and I felt like I wanted to know more. I did like the ending when you don't really know what my dad is going to do, like what decision she's going to make, whether she's going to get on a train or she's going to go back to like the cafe to see Elvis. I like that, those type of endings, because you kind of already know, like, my Ted's going to go back to where Elvis is. Um, but yeah, I do like kind of like open endings, like you don't really know. But when there's like something like the whole plot of the book was them trying to get this film and find Leonora, and once they like find her and find the freaking film, they just destroy it. Like, huh? I wanted to know what was in the fucking pictures, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I do see what you're saying, like, it didn't feel complete. So, yeah, but I do like some endings like that. But for this time around, that was also one of the reasons why this wasn't a 5 star for me. But yeah, um, like, I'm not sure if I think Maite has had any clear development by the end, which kind of bothers me. That's true. I definitely don't think that she, like, grew a lot. I feel like she did learn some things because Ruben, was that his name? Yeah, Emilia was a really good-looking one. Ruben was the one that she was with, like, the whole time. Ruben was kind of an asshole, and she kind of learned in that aspect. Um, she learned something. But then again, like, Elvis is not a very great guy, and he was literally like looking for them, and he does really bad things. So if she does go to the cafe, that we know she will, did she learn anything? You know, like, is that healthy? Probably not, but she will probably do it because that's the kind of person that she is. So I don't think she learned anything, but I don't really think I wanted her to, because I don't know. I feel like I liked her more when she was doing like dumb shit for some reason. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I was like vicariously living through my day. But yeah, I believe Mexican Gothic is also a bit of historical fiction. But yeah, if you Google, I can't say that. La Telolco 1968, which is mentioned in the book, you can learn about the historical events. Yes. And I do remember like at the end of this book, Silvia Moreno-Garcia wrote in like her afterword or something, she detailed a little bit more about some of the events in this book and the time period and all of that. I think I prefer Mexican Gothic. disagree, but I agree to disagree. I'm just kidding. I love you. Um, I haven't read any of her books, so yeah, it's a toss up. Which one I want to go? I want by go what? Which one you want to go with first? Well, obviously, I would say Velvet Was a Night because I enjoyed this one more than Mexican Gothic. But I think the popular census is that Mexican Gothic is better. I think that's what everyone else enjoys more. So, yes. I don't know. Don't take my opinion. Honestly, ask Sav from Riveting Reads. As far as the characters, I think I liked Elvis more than Maite. They're not likable characters, but I enjoyed following their POV. Yeah, I think Elvis, I did like learning about like his like how he grew up and how he got into like the Hawks group and all of that. But I don't know. I just felt like Maite, like she's a really weird character, but I feel like I could obviously relate to her more in some ways. Not just because she's a woman, but I just liked her point of view better. I don't know. I'm trying to see on my notes. I covered everything from my first page. We have like 4 pages of notes, everybody. Okay. So, yes, I did say that they're both very great, morally great characters. I think they were both like really, really. They were very cynical type of people. Like they just hate life. I think in general, which is why I kind of like ship them. But also, they're not great people for each other. But I did ship them. I loved like whenever Elvis first saw Maite from a distance, obviously because he was like following her. The way that he would talk about her sometimes, because I did not like sometimes when Elvis was like, oh, she's not like the prettiest, but like I want to know more about her. And I was like, why you gotta say that? Like, huh? But what else? I absolutely hated Maite's mom and her sister. Could not stand them, but I also don't know if it was because we were seeing Maite's mom and sister from Maite's point of view. Like, I don't know if anyone's read Grady Hendrix before. I know this is such like a weird comparison, but Grady Hendrix, like he wrote a book called My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was from the point of view of like these teenage girls, and the parents in this book are like the worst of the worst, but it's because you're seeing them from like these elementary, well, I guess they were younger, they were like 12-year-olds, but you're seeing these parents from like the point of view of 12-year-olds. So like when you're a 12-year-old or like a teen, your parents are like the worst human beings alive. So I guess that's how I was kind of seeing my test mom and her sister, because we were seeing them from my test point of view and she can't fucking stand them. But yeah, I also didn't think they were great people. But like also my test mom was kind of just like a regular like Hispanic mom that like doesn't know when to shut up and like gives advice without you even asking, or like gives you her opinion like without you asking type of thing. So I don't know. It was, yeah, I didn't love them, but yes. Um anything else? Oh, yes. I think I mentioned earlier like one of my favorite things about the book were like the vibes and the atmosphere. I felt like it was like there was just a lot of tension throughout the whole book, which I felt like it's a really hard like emotion to convey, like to put into writing and have the reader feel that throughout the whole book, like tension. And it was very, very dark in some aspects. I feel like more Elvis's scenes than Maite's, but also it was like a cozy mystery. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of cozy. Like, I would definitely recommend this for like this time around, like the fall time. Like October through December, you should read this book. Is how I feel. It was like a cozy vibes type of book. So yeah. Let me see. Yes, we talked about the playlist. Let me see some comments over here. I just bought all of Silvia Moreno-Garcia's books for my birthday. I have no rating for Velvet, but I gave Certain Dark Things 5 stars. I was sent that by the publishing company. I still need to read it. I have like 2 copies because they sent it to me twice. So I need to read that. I know it is vampires, which I'm really excited to read about, which is very different From the things that I've read up from Silvia Moreno, vampires is just a very different thing. So yeah, and Mexican Gothic 3.5. More to read. Yeah, I gave Mexican Gothic, I believe, 3 stars, and I do want to read Certain Dark Things. I'm really excited now that you mentioned that you gave it 5 stars. And do you own or have read Gods of Jade and Shadow? Because that's like the one that's like completely different, I feel like, from the rest of her books. I have heard good things about it though. Jayla says, I like Elvis. Like reading about his childhood broke my heart. I don't like how they had them DTF with each other at the end. Oh, okay. So I kind of like that. I feel like, I don't know, I like those type of endings, like will they, won't they, type of endings. But I do feel like from what we learn about Maite and Elvis, I do feel like she would have returned and she would have kept talking to Elvis and like gone out with him and stuff. But yeah, it is nice to see like the relationship develop and everything. And I feel like because the whole build up, I felt like at one point I was reading it and I'm like, are they ever going to meet in person? Like for a second I thought they wouldn't. So I was glad that they did, because that would have been shitty if they like crossed paths and like never met in person, or face to face, I guess. But yeah, I do see the defining the relationship. Wait, is that what you're saying? Or no, DTF isn't that down to? I thought you were saying define the relationship. Oh wait, Jayla, I don't know now. Jayla's same. I can't relate to my dad trying to make her life more interesting than it is though. I'm not a liar like her, but yeah. But you ever just want to tell a tale? I totally get that. I feel like I did that though, but when I was like in 5th or 4th grade, like I would come up with stories and like, oh, I did all this during the weekend. But like obviously as a 4th or 5th grader, not as a 30-year-old woman. You know what I'm saying? So I just liked, I don't know, I loved that she was like a 30-year-old woman that had her own fucking place and like her job and everything, and then she would act like a kid. It was like funny. Like I don't know, I liked her. She was, I don't know. She was funny. Um I got not I go not to be spoiled, but thanks for having me and hosting this. Thank you for coming, Joan. I appreciate it. I don't know if you've been gone for a little bit now. I think as far as I'm concerned, all of her books cover all of the genres that I like, so I might just buy all of them and remove the middleman, so to speak. You should buy them. I honestly don't know which ones I'm missing from her, because I have Gotham Jade and Shadow, Velvet, Certain Dark Things, Mexican Gothic. I'm not too sure, but she releases books so often. Like, not me going on Goodreads right now in the middle of a live show to see her books, but we're gonna look. Silvia Moreno-Garcia. But yeah, I do like want to continue reading stuff from her, because I love Velvet a lot, so I'm hoping like anything that is more compared to this one. Oh yeah, so she has Mexican Gothic, Gods of Jane and Shadow that I really want to read. The Beautiful Ones, I think this one was published like 2017. Velvet Was a Night, Certain Dark Things that I need to read. Oh my god, she has so many books. Um, Signal to Noise, never heard of this one. Untamed Shore, haven't heard of that one either. Prime Meridian and She Walks in Shadows. I feel like I've heard of this one before. Historical Lovecraft. That looks like an edited book. But anyway, yeah, I do want to read more from her. Yeah, I think it's clear she's gonna go back to Elvis, but mostly because I don't think she's developed into someone not to be desperate to be desired. Yeah, I feel like because we knew her character, that's how I know that she would have gone back. So I definitely do feel like she didn't have any development, like she didn't really grow or learn anything. But yeah. I also enjoyed the open ending, yeah. And I also feel like because it's a noir book, like I think in the definition it's supposed to be like kind of like an unsatisfying, like not a very happy ending. That's why I also kind of knew that she would go back to him, because I don't know if it's supposed to be like a growth type of story. Middleman. Yes, I gotcha. Damn, you hot Emilio. I did not like him either. God, he was annoying too. Hello, Karina. Sorry I'm late. I rated this one 3 stars, but still enjoyed it. Yes, I gave this 4 stars if you missed it, Karina. I really, really liked it. Hi, Karina. Honestly, it felt like I was reading an old-timey black and white movie. Yes, I was saying earlier that I love the vibes and the atmosphere of this book, and in a really weird way, I felt like when I was reading this book, I felt like it was like in a room like back in that time when like those rooms, like those restaurants would be like full of like cigarette smoke. Like that's how I felt reading this. But I do see the black and white movie thing. I definitely felt like that too. Have y'all already talked about homeboy Ruben ghosting Maite as soon as Laura? Look, this is why I hated Ruben. I could not stand him. I didn't like him the whole time. I didn't like Emilio either. I feel like out of the male characters, the only one I liked was Elvis. Um yeah, I did not like Ruben, but I thought that was so shitty at the end when she's like when she comes back and she's like, "Oh, usually like women don't get men flowers, but I'm gonna get him some flowers." And she's in there with the flowers and then he's like not about it, and then Leonora comes in and she's like, "This is why." Like he doesn't like me anymore because Leonora and all this crap, and he just kind of like says, "Peace out. I'm going to go with Leonora again." And yeah, that was shitty. I do agree. I don't ship them at all. Interesting. Wait, was Ruben a hot one or Emilio was the hot one? Ruben was the one that she hung out with like the whole time trying to find Leonora, and both Ruben and Emilio dated Leonora, and Emilio was the hot one. Ruben was the okay looking one that Maite hooks up with while they're trying to find Leonora. Then Leonora comes back at the end, and Leonora kind of Ruben and Leonora kind of get back together in a way when they find her, and then that's why Maite, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like all over the place. No, I think Maite's family sucks either way. Yeah, for real. Her mom, I was like, girl, relax. I hate when like parents compare like siblings. I absolutely hate that. And when you know, like, or in books sometimes too, like when a parent, like the child that doesn't try as hard, they're like completely in love with that child, and you know that like that's their favorite, and the other child that tries so hard to please them, like they're never good enough. That I also hate. So yeah. Emilio is Mr. Hottie photographer. Ruben was one of the freedom fighter characters. Karina, I love that description. Mr. Hottie photographer. I can like hear you saying that too. That's so funny. Yes, the setting and atmosphere she created was amazing. Yeah, I think that was my favorite part. That part pissed me off. He didn't deserve those flowers. I know. I was reading it and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go buy him flowers." Like, I know men usually don't receive flowers, but I think he'll appreciate it. And he's like already in love again with this Leonora beach. I'm just kidding. She's not a bitch. But yeah. LOL, no, I did like him. I just know he had an amazing hair and he was an artiste. I hate that he made me crush on him, but I suspect that he was shady. No, I suspect that he was shady from the start. Did not like him. I feel so bad for Maite. She just wants someone to tell her she's pretty, poor girly. I know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like she just never had love in her life, and she was just like, whatever. Ruben, like, she even said it. She was like, Ruben's like not cute, but like, I don't know, he's there. So that's when kind of why they hooked up. So yeah. Karina said, I think us seeing how crappy Maite's family treated her is an insight as to why Maite romanticized her life. I know. Maite did like romanticize her life. LOL, he's there. me in every past relationship. They're just there. They like me, I guess. Just kidding. I think my dad's family treated her was an insight to how my dad romanticized her life. Yeah, and I just also hated how like, whoa, not me talking for 40 minutes catching up to me. Hold on, let me get some tea. There we go. I always forget to stay hydrated when I'm talking for too long, and I forgot Cammy wasn't gonna be here, so I wouldn't get like a break from talking. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I also hated how her mom was like always telling her about how her sister was doing things right, because back then like having your own apartment and like your own place and everything was like a huge deal. Like if you were a single woman living by yourself, or like also in Mexican families, like usually you don't move out until you're married. So yes, LOL, he's there. Definitely Karina, Naomi. I mean, whatever. I do also like, I used to, or still do, romanticize my life. I feel like I'd be like, I'm gonna go get coffee. Like, so romantic. Yes, stay hydrated. I'm having a green tea right now, and this little like, look at this mug. It's so cute. Jayla said, "Bruh, I wanted to fight her sister's kids." Yes, Jayla, we pull up, we fight these kids. Anyway. What else do I need to talk about? Okay, so I did want to talk about some dislikes. I feel like we already kind of talked about it, but yes, I could not stand Ruben. We'll say that. I did mention that I didn't love the ending, and when it came to the resolution about Leonora, um, what the fuck did I write down? I'm like trying to decipher what the fuck this means. I loved Maite more than Elvis, I guess. Yeah, that's not a huge dislike. Naomi Wise is under the dislikes. Oh yeah, I hated not knowing what was on the film because we spent this whole book trying to find Leonora in the film, and you figured that you would know what's in this film, and we don't get to know. So that's that. What are other things? Oh, I thought it was really interesting throughout the book when I was reading it, there was some Mexican slang in there, and I had to look some things up on Google, and I just thought it was really interesting because I felt like I was learning new things, and like even though it is Spanish and I know Spanish and that's my first language, Spanish in all countries, like Latinx countries, it's so different. Like the slang in this book, some things I didn't understand and I had to look it up. And I don't know, I'm really excited for whenever we pick up a book by a Puerto Rican author, because what was our last one? Our last one was Zoraida Cordova, and I forget exactly Zoraida's where she's from. Zoraida Cordova. Let me look it up real quick. But I don't believe that she is Puerto Rican. I don't think so. But I feel like I've just been learning a lot of different things with all of these books that we've been choosing for the, oh my god, not me opening a million tabs. She is from Ecuador. Soraya Cordova is from Ecuador, and then Silvia Moreno-Garcia is Mexican, I believe. I assume, because all of her books are set in Mexico. And then the next one, we're going to learn a little bit more about Cuba. So I'm really excited for whenever we pick a book that is set or by a Puerto Rican author, because I feel like I'm going to ramble. I already know I'm going to ramble. But the next one is set in Cuba, or is by a Cuban author. So for that one, Camila is going to be very much in her element. But yeah, one more thing that I did want to talk about was like a favorite scene. I don't know if everyone in the chat had like a favorite scene from the book. But like I did say, I did like the ending. I do like open end. What the fuck am I saying? Open endings. And not knowing exactly what's going to happen, but like having a feeling, like a gut feeling that you know what will. But my favorite scene from the book was when they're in that like little shop and Elvis plays Blue Velvet, and it's kind of like that little connection to Maite because he knows like what she likes, like, and like from her records and stuff, and she goes and plays another song, and that was like the first time they like kind of met, or like they were in the same room together, besides him just like watching her and not doing anything. So I love that little connection, and also the connection to the like the title Velvet Was the Night, and then the song Blue Velvet. I thought that was really cute. That was my favorite scene from the book. Um but yeah, I think that was all for my notes. The last thing that I had was if anyone had any final thoughts. But yeah, originally I planned for this for Camila to be here, but she is not feeling well. We love you, Camila. Hopefully she watches this back. But yeah, the last thing was if anyone had any final thoughts about the book, anything that they wanted to bring up. If not, those were all of my notes. Oh my god, I can't believe I thought this was gonna be so much shorter. I thought we were gonna be here for like 20 minutes. But a bitch can talk. For real. Also, everyone, look at this. Camila got me this for my birthday. It's a Champagne Problems notebook, and it's my favorite thing in the world. Does anyone have any final thoughts? There's a couple comments that I'll go through and then we'll end the live. I'm interested. Oh my god. Words, what are they? I'm interested in her romance graphic novel she was into, though. Yes, and I heard that Silvia Moreno-Garcia did say that these were like a thing in Mexico in the 1970s, and those do exist. So you could look some up and like try to find some, like on eBay or something to buy. My jaw dropped finding out Leonora's uncle was El Mago. Yes. Oh my god, how could I forget that part? Yes. Oh my god. A bitch doesn't know how to hold a live show discussion. Like, how could I forget to bring that up? Anyway. Excuse me, sir, why do you want to murder? I know, right? I mean, yeah. I was surprised too, but I shouldn't have been considering that he wouldn't have even come into the story if he wasn't important. True. Oh yes, such a great scene. I know, that was my favorite one. I loved it so much. My favorite scene was when Elvis came in with that screwdriver and went pop pop to save my thing. Karina, your descriptions of things are my favorite thing in the world. So you're doing great, Naomi. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like this book was also like fairly short, so I didn't really know like exactly what to talk about. I feel like the story was, you know, it was short, condensed. I feel like we got to the main points. But oh my god, let me tell y'all what we're reading in November. So, oh whoa. My mom talked about these. She would buy these graphic novels every week. Oh my god, that's so cute. Does she still have them? I would love to see a picture of those. That's so cute. I did love when she ended up getting off the bus to meet with Elvis. That was cute. Yes, we love to see it. Okay, so for the month of November for the book club, we chose to read. We already posted it on Instagram, but if you missed it, we're reading The Most Beautiful Girl in Cuba by Chanel Clayton. Chanel Clayton also wrote Next Year in Havana. Yeah, this is what we're reading in November. This was kind of my pick because I wanted to read a historical fiction in the month of November. So this is what we're reading in November, obviously. And then we're going to be releasing like the next 3 picks like for December, January, and February because we haven't completely set in stone what we're reading for all of those months. So yeah, but this is what we're reading next, and then we'll let you guys know on the Instagram, Brujas and Books. Oh my god, I'm burping. We'll let you guys know on the Instagram like the rest of the picks for the other 3 months after November. So yes, but hopefully this sounds interesting to y'all and y'all pick this up and read it with us in the month of November. So yeah, that is it. A bitch has been talking for 50 minutes and my throat hurts. So thank you all for coming and discussing this book with us. I know a couple people have left because of spoilers and all of that. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. and discussing. And we'll see you next month in November. Also, for the most beautiful girl in Cuba, we'll make sure to like announce it and everything. But because this live show is on my channel, the live show for the next book would be on Camila's channel, which is Borrows and Books. So go subscribe to her if you haven't yet. But yeah, that is it. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. Let me end this.